welcome to episode 15 of Nicole World Podcast. I am your host, Nicole, also known as 18229. I want to say welcome everybody. Thank you so much. If you are new and you are checking me out for the very first time, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to check me out. I hope that you enjoy this podcast and you come back again. If you're watching me on iTunes, like and subscribe. If you're watching me via iTunes, please feel free to go to iTunes and leave me a rating and a comment. Alright, I hope everybody had a great week last week and you're having a great week this week. Oh, excuse me. I can't stop yawning today. I don't know why. Alright, on with the show. We got quite a few things here. First, we're going to go to administrati, or administration stuff. So, what did you guys think of my new logo? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Do you like the old one better? Do you like the new one? Let me know. I'm trying to do a new logo since I love color. I don't want something boring. I like something that's just colorful. And it's hard to find yarn in the colors that I have in my logo. Well, I shouldn't say it's hard, but I don't have it. But the new logo, I don't know. You guys weigh in. Let me know what you think. Do you like the new logo? Do you like the old one? Should I find a different one? Let me know. And if you have an idea for some logos, suggestions, let me know. I am up for that. I am trying to make this podcast really good and great. I think that it's getting better each week, each time I try, and eventually I will find my groove. Oh, and get your drink. If you're wondering what I'm drinking, I have water in here flavored with some Kool-Aid. It's sugar-free, no sugar in it. Alright. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, I have show notes here and I'm trying to follow them. Alright, let's see here. My logo. And did you guys like my welcome photo? What did you think? That photo was taken last year in the summer. A friend of mine who does photography professionally, she professionally did that photo of me, modeling a shawl that I crocheted. So that is a knitted item. It's a shawl that I happened to crochet that she took a wonderful picture of. So let me know if you guys like the welcome photo. And also the music. If you noticed, I added music. Sorry about that. It was an important phone call from my gram that we're expecting. Always seems to happen when you're trying to podcast or do something, phone rings. Anyways, as I was saying, I hope that you guys like the music that I added onto here. It is from Podsafe Music Network. It is by Alan Lauris, Lauris, and it's called No Matching Socks. I kind of like it. It goes kind of along with today what I'm going to discuss. Trying to find some music that'll go. You guys let me know what you like. Words, Nicole. Let me know what you think, if you like the music or you don't like music in the beginning. So let me know. Let's see what else. Hosting. As you guys know, I am hosting on iTunes. You need a site to host. I am currently using Podomatic. Now, the thing is, right now, I have the free version, so I only get so much storage for the month. Oh, sorry. I should call this episode the yawning episode. But anyhow, as I was saying, I only get so much storage. So in order not to go over it, I just may have to delete some episodes. Or I'm thinking GoDaddy offers hosting sites. But I kind of hate to move it. Maybe I'll just upgrade to a paid version of Podomatic. We'll see. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Let's see, I'm going through my show notes here, guys. Sorry. Alright, the other thing I'm doing in Administrati's Long today is on the Ravelry thread. I now have, each month I am going to be wishing everybody a happy birthday. So I have the January one up where I am wishing everybody who has a January birthday. I didn't list anybody that have January birthdays because I didn't ask permission, because some people don't want it advertised. So it's just a general happy birthday. Another thing for Administrati is February is Heart Awareness, or Go Red, or Red Dress February for Women's Heart Month. What I am thinking is to have a knit and crochet along, and I will give away a prize from my yarn stash, one of my pretty yarns, and the rules and stipulations are extremely easy. You can knit anything, you can crochet anything, but it has to be in red. I'm not going to specify red because there's many shades of red, to vintage red screaming lipstick, to hot flaming screaming red. There's many shades of red in the red palette, so any form of red will do. So I'm not picky about that. You gotta be a member of the Ravelry board to win the prize. So if you're not in the Ravelry group, what are you waiting for? Join it. Let's see. You gotta be a member. I don't care if you double dip. I don't care if you double dip, quadruple dip. I don't care, as long as it's okay with other Ravelry groups or other podcasters that you're dipping. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I'm okay with double, quadruple, whatever dipping you want to do. With that, let's see here. What else? The contest, I will start it on January the 30th. You can start your projects January the 30th, but they must be completed by February the 28th. That's when I'm going to lock the thread, is February 28th, and the winner will be drawn on my next podcast episode. I figured January 30th to February 28th, that will give you some time to work on it. As I said again, I don't care if it's a toy, I don't care if it's socks, whatever you want to make, knit or crochet. I just thought that would be something fun to do for heart awareness and show some support. So that is all that I have for Administrati. Yay, I know it only took how long. Let's move on to knitting. Yay! And boo. Alright, FOs. Wonk wonk. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nicole, you were so close to finishing Girl Friday. Yeah. I had an epic fail with that. Yeah. Before we go into works in progress, I'll talk about Girl Friday. She's being kept in my Cloud Dream bag that I made. As you guys remember, I was working on the button band, and I didn't do it right. I finished it. I completely cast it off, and I was like, I put it on, and it was like all funky, scrunched up. I'm like, it's not supposed to look like this. And then I looked at the sleeve. I sewed the one sleeve in upside down. Yes, upside down. You can laugh. Go ahead, be my guest. Because I know I did. And especially this mistake that I made, you can laugh. Because I couldn't laugh at the time. I wanted to cry, but now I can laugh. Alright. I went to go sew the sleeve. I took the sleeve off, everything, got my darting needle out and pulled the stitches out, pulled the sewing stitches out. Came out great. I said, okay, let's sew I wasn't going to rip the sleeve completely apart. I'm like, okay, I can sew back up, even though it's already, the sleeve's already stitched. So I was like, okay, we can do this, so I get it. And I will show you what it looks like. There is no button band. Let's see if I can get it right, because it's a hot mess right now. This is what it looks like. It's all stitched together, except I sewed the sleeve on, and wouldn't you know, I sewed the sleeve inside out. Again, you can laugh because that is hysterical. Nicole, you went to fix your upside down sleeve and you turned it inside out. What the heck? But it gets better. I went to try it on to make sure that it fit good before I decided to go do the button band. And I emailed Mandy Cat from We Are Yarn podcast, because she knit the sweater. I was like, what's going on? What am I not doing right with the button band? Oh, I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. And she explained how they do. I'm like, cool. I was like, getting ready to cast on. Realized that this was inside out. I know what you're thinking. Nicole, you should have left it alone. That could have waited till the very end. Yeah, I realize that now. Because my epic fail was I turned it back inside out to go undo the stitches and like cut it and undo the stitches. Yeah, I cut it okay. I cut my knitting. Isn't that pretty? I cut it. Yeah. That's my epic fail. I originally first thought that I cut my front panel and my back panel, but when I went to get it ready, the podcast for you guys, I realized that I just cut my sleeve apart. And you'll notice here, yeah, I ended up starting to unstitch it, thinking that I had to rip it apart. But now that I see that it's just the sleeve that the stitches are coming apart on, I can find the right thread. Ooh, I got something on my eye, sorry. I can find the right thread and just pull it out and re-knit the sleeve and put it back on. And then do the button bands and buttons again. However, I know I did a complete rookie mistake. You can laugh. I am not going to rip the sleeve out right now. I'm going to put Girl Friday in hibernation for a little bit. Her and I both had a rough time of it this week, so I'm going to put her in hibernation until maybe next week or the week after and take that sleeve off and re-knit the sleeve and do the button band and put the buttons on. Or as I like to say, the buttons. I don't know, it's a cute little, I like the way the English say it, sometimes buttons. I think it's cute. Anyways, epic fail. She's hibernating till I'm ready to work on her again. Alright. If you're wondering why I keep leaning over, I have a chair here with all my stuff on it. Next, you guys remember that Darn Good Yarn scarf? I'm still working on it. She didn't get any love this week. However, if you guys remember, I was talking about wanting to cast on some yoga socks. And I did. And the pattern is by Patons. It is Patons yoga socks. They use Patons Crochet yarn. I didn't. Here's a picture of the yoga socks. I know you're like, where's the color? To save on the ink on my printer, I print the pictures out in black and white to save it. If I want to see the color version of it, I just get my iPad or iPhone up. You can call me old school. I still like to print a pattern. I like to have a physical one in my hand so I can jot things down. You use 3.25 millimeter US 3 needles. And, oh, I don't want to lose it. Oh no, I gotta find my other knit needle. Wow. I hope I didn't lose it. I'm thinking it's not my hair. I'm thinking it's out in the kitchen somewhere because I was working on it earlier. Anyhow, the yarn I am using I bought at Tuesday Mornings. And it's SRK. It is On Your Toes. 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. And 4-ply with aloe vera. The colorway is Sunset Print. Here's the button band. You can tell my mind's still on my sweater. Here's the sock band. And the pattern. I love it. I hope that I have enough left over maybe to knit myself a pair of socks out of it. Here's what it looks like. Yes, if you're wondering why it's all funky, it's my ball winder, the way it winds it into cakes. I'll talk about that later. Here is the work that I have done on it so far. It is a cuff down. And you can see it has you can see the pattern on it already. If I hold it still without making anybody motion sick. That's what it looks like. It's supposed to fit an average lady's foot. I hope it fits because it feels really loose. I'm casting on exactly what they said. So, I mean, on the picture, it shows that the top part looks slouchy. So, I'm hoping that's what it is. And I'm hoping I find my other knitting needle. And if you're wondering, these are my China needles. They come with a set of 5, so I hope I don't drop it down to a set of 4. It's being kept in my Too Faced bag. One side is plaid if I feel like being plaid one day. And I can turn it around if I feel like being retro bubbly. So it's being kept in here. I made this bag. If you're wondering where I got the fabric, I got it at Tuesday Mornings. It was originally supposed to be a different pattern. Didn't like the pattern, but I liked the fabric, so I cut it up and made myself bags. Hey, you don't always have to do what's called for. So it's being kept in here. It's a real easy knit. The pattern's easy to follow. It's not something that I would take for purse knitting. But it is something that I can sit there in the evenings and work on. Or while I listen to podcasts. My other work in progress is something that I concocted myself. I am proud of. It's a pattern I'm just trying to work on myself that I came up with. And I am using it. Well, before I get into it, most of you know I've never knit 2 socks at a time, and I forgot to add it onto my goals for 2014 is to learn how to knit 2 socks at a time on one circular needle. I want to learn how to do 2 socks at a time on where they have 2 circular needles, but they're together. If you've seen that, and they're knitting 2 socks together and at the same time on 2 circular needles, but they're together. Yeah, that scares me, but I know it's obviously not as hard as I'm thinking it is. Anyways, I was like, I want to do that, and I was bummed out about my show. I'm like, do I make the Hallelujah sweater, or do I knit a pair of socks? Going back and forth, and I decided, since it's cold here still in Pennsylvania, we have had some I think a day or two where it's been in the upper 40s and 50s out, and then cool in the evening, and some days it's just cold, and my feet are cold, and I'm like, I'll go with socks. And I looked at socks, I went through my sock patterns, and nothing, like, I'm like, because I was basing it on the color of the yarn that I chose, like if it had a pattern, I'm like, it'll get lost, the pattern will just get lost in the color. So I was like, I know what I'll do. I want to knit a pair of vanilla socks. And I know people have their go-to vanilla sock pattern. I don't. I mean, I do, but I don't. So I decided, I got this idea, I concocted one in my head. And I am using Red Heart, Heart and Soul with Aloe in the Mellow Stripe colorway. And I got it at AC Moore on sale. It was $2. I bought two skeins or 2 balls of it. So you will see why now Magic Socks or Mismatched Socks is a good theme song, because here's what I got so far of the socks I'm working on. Here's what they look like. 2 at a time, toe up. I hate to Kitchener. I am horrible at Kitchenering. I don't know why. It's not hard, but I end up with an odd number of stitches when I Kitchener it all. Like, I'll count as I'm getting ready to bind off on cuff down socks, and when I start Kitchenering, somehow I end up with an odd number of socks, and my Kitchening, it don't come out right at all. So I'm like, toe up socks. Don't got a Kitchener. And again, this is a vanilla sock pattern that I just came up with in my head. I know what you're thinking, Nicole, vanilla socks are so easy to make. You just knit. Well, I'm basing this on my size foot. I wear size 7.5. I know that gives me leeway to go down a size or up a size. So I am writing it down, so if it works out, I can write it in the notes for this pattern. But that's what they are. You can see they're mismatched, and I happen to like that. Normally, my socks have to be matchy-matchy. Here's the one ball. And yes, again, the way it looks is because of my yarn winder, my ball winder. That's why it looks absolutely, I'm stuck here, sorry. It looks absolutely hard. Here's the other one. They're both 50 gram, 213 yards. In order, if you've never made toe-up socks, as I said, this is my first time making them on one circular needle. I am using my Carbons 2.25 or, yeah, 2.25. Or 2.5, I think it's 2.25. And I love these things for socks. I love the points. I want to order another in this size. I also want to try the signature needles. I know I'm babbling, I need to stop. But anyways, that's what they look like. Nothing spectacular, and I know my ends are showing. I can take a crochet hook and just weave it back in there. So that's all my whips. I guess that's everything. I guess I will go into life. If you're leaving me now, I hope that you have a great week and a wonderful weekend, and I hope you come back next week. If you're staying, let's dive on in, darlings. Okay, last week there was the Pennsylvania Farm Show out in Harrisburg that I happened to catch on TV a segment of the farm show that they were showing, and it was called Spinning to Shaw. And let me tell you, these shawls were absolutely gorgeous. Oh, they were gorgeous. They weren't knitted, they were loom knitted on the big looms that you bring it down. That's how they were knitted. It showed the shearing of the sheep. It showed the women combing the wool out to get it ready to spin, and then it showed some of the women there spinning on their spinning wheels, and it showed other women there loom knitting the shawl. And they had towards the end of the segment, they had awards for the shawls, and then the 4-H kids, they had an auction for their shawls that they made, and they auctioned for $500 to $875 plus. So yay for those kids. That's an incredible amount of money for a shawl. They're gorgeous. I'm not debating that. I mean, it's a nice amount. I mean, all the work that went into it, so that's great for them. The money's going to a great cause. So yeah, that is that. The other thing that's going on is I have some yarn that I want to dye. I have food coloring. I want it to, people who dye, is food coloring good to use? I mean, I don't want to get an acid dye because I'm afraid, what if I'm allergic to the acid dye? So I'd like to hear some 2 cents on that. Let's see. My ball winder. To those of you that commented on the video, thank you so much. It did help me. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one with this ball winder from Hobby Lobby that has had this trouble. I am disappointed for the price that I paid. It was $39.99 plus tax. You know, with today's economy, that's not too cheap to spend on a ball winder. I thought maybe it was something I did, but evidently it's not just me. Other people have had problems from that. I will be going to Knitpicks next week and ordering a new ball winder. So that's the situation with that. If I need anything wound, I have to deal with this. If not, I'll just take one of my straight knitting needles and just manually make a center pole ball. Much as I hate that, that's what I'll do. So that is that. Yay! I weighed in this week. I lost 6 pounds since last month. I didn't weigh myself in a month with recovering from being sick and the holidays. I weighed myself. I was amazed. I lost 6 pounds. Now I hope the doctor's scale shows that I lost 6 pounds, or I'll be like, what the heck? So that is that. My sugar, it's still been bouncing between 140 to 228. But I am noticing like what foods I eat may cause it to go higher than other foods. And my total carbs, I'm trying to watch those, like, okay, this is how much total carbs in it. And I'm like, okay, I ate it and, okay, my sugar's high. I gotta cut that down or cut that out. So that's what I've been doing, trying to exercise, you know. I can't really walk too much, but, you know, hey, I can do exercise indoors. I'm also doing, excuse me, what I call lazy girl abs. Yeah, I had a long time ago when I worked in a nursing home. There was a resident there. She had abs of steel. And it was because she was always bending down, picking up things, or she'd lay in bed and she'd lift her legs up, and then her arms would go down. Like the arms would go forward, and it caused her to have some great abs. I'm like, So I'm doing that. I could really feel my abs working when I do that. So I call it my lazy girl abs. I'm like, I'm gonna try this. Like, I'm like, there has to be something to it if she's doing it and has great abs. So we shall see. Other than that, nothing too exciting or eventful, just trying to stay warm. If you're wondering what my shirt says, it says Good and Plenty, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It is an eating place down there in Lancaster. I've never been there. My gram got it from me when she went. They say it's good. Never tried it, but it's cool in here. So I decided I'd wear it. Other than that, I will let you guys go because I have to obviously edit this. Please comment. Let me know what you think. Any comment suggestions. If you're not in my Ravelry group, please join it. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And please remember to be kind to one another. You see somebody, even if it's just a stranger, just wave at them or smile. Sometimes a random act of kindness goes a long way. It brightens somebody's day. I mean, just treat other people the way you would like to be treated. Good karma comes back to you tenfold. Until next week, have a good weekend. Bye.